Welcome to College Town Talk. I'm Shan Stout.
And I'm Jonathan Frank.
Okay, Jonathan, we're going to get right to it. I've got someone in mind. He's a young guy. He's a very successful graduate of the Tennessee Tech Political Science Department. He's a leader in the Upper Cumberland region.
Shan, you flatter me. If you're talking about me, you can just come out and say it.
No. I'm talking about today's guest, Jonathan, Tanner Cox.
Oh.
Sorry. Tanner is a proud Tennessee Tech alumnus who today serves as field representative for U.S. Senator Bill Hagerty. Tanner, welcome to College Town Talk.
Thank you guys so much for having me here today. Excited to be here and share a little bit about what's going on with me, our office, and the region.
We've got so much we want to ask you today, but let's start with your specific role in Senator Hagerty's office. What exactly is a field representative, and why was that something that interested you in particular?
So it's kind of a complicated job to describe because at its base level, I would say that my job is to represent Senator Hagerty in my 14-county Upper Cumberland district. Beyond that, what it really is over the few years that I've done it, I think the best way to summarize it is a problem solver, whether that is helping constituents deal with federal matters like passports, disability, or whether that's helping local businesses or county mayors help solve federal problems, have to do with any kind of federal funds, anything like that.
That's very interesting.
Well, and I think you're very good at that, Tanner. You are definitely a problem solver in this community and a great ambassador for the senator. And, you know, we joked about it in the introduction, but you obviously are someone who's found a lot of career success with your political science degree from Tennessee Tech. And you're not alone in that. I mean, I want people to know we've got people like Roy West working as chief of staff for the Tennessee Comptroller, Jordan Wilkins, who has worked for the Nashville mayor and the Tennessee Democratic County Chairs Association, J.R. Russell, who is now the administrator for the internship program at the Tennessee State Legislature, and many others. So you are part of a growing club here, and I guess feel personally about this, letting people know that there are great career options available to you with a political science degree from Tennessee Tech, and that we have a lot of successful alumni. But and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. I mean, something I have learned and noticed is that the post-college career path looks a little bit different for everybody in the political science program. And it's, we have these programs of study, nursing and education that are very rigorous programs. But then when you graduate, those next steps are probably pretty apparent to you. There is kind of a conventional route, and you probably know what you need to do after you get that degree to begin your career. Whereas it's maybe not as obvious for political science, and you kind of have to be looking. Is there a campaign gearing up? Is it an election year? So how did you plot your next steps and line things up to land where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, political science is a very broad program, and like you said, you can do a lot of different things with it. So luckily, when I was at Tennessee Tech, I was blessed to serve as a student orientation assistant, SOA, one of the purple polos back in the day. And so that summer, I had actually started working originally for then Congressman Diane Black's gubernatorial campaign. So I was doing both of those jobs that summer, and then actually on campus one day while doing the SOA job, I ran into Chelsea Rose, who then gave me the opportunity to work on Congressman Rose's first congressional campaign back in 2018. And so I kind of used that opportunity and, continue my education at Tennessee Tech to help me land where I'm at today. But such a big part of the political science program is not just the education aspect, but also just the networking aspect. And Dr. Harding did a great job kind of encouraging us to get out, find those opportunities to be successful within and outside of the program.
Well, Tanner, I love that you just brought that up because we just finished an interview where they were talking about teaching the students in the College of Business to talk to strangers, network, make yourself known and seen. And, you talk about the people that you met throughout your journey that opened these doors for you. So if you would have shied away and said, oh, they're a person of prominence or importance, And I'm not say, if you felt insecure like a student might, you would have missed those opportunities. So do you have any advice to the students who are a little shy about meeting someone for the first time that seems like they've accomplished something that could help you, but you just think, I don't know what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the best advice I ever got in my life is I used to do a lot of jiu-jitsu, wrestling, that type of stuff. And one of my coaches told me the best advice I've ever gotten, which is always show up. So even when you don't think it may be a great opportunity, or it might, like you said, might be a small thing, just show up, because you never know what will happen. And I've tried to use that throughout my life and my career to make sure that, you're just always showing up to things, because you never know what will happen. If I hadn't been on tech that day walking around campus, I wouldn't have met Chelsea Rose, and I probably wouldn't be here today. So you never know where those opportunities will come from. And so when you have the opportunity to network or go to an event or just have a conversation with someone, take advantage of that.
So being bold is basically your advice here. And we're going to try to avoid politics in this particular interview, but there is one thing that your boss, Senator Hagerty, did, speaking of being bold, that we want to ask you about. And that is his decision to open a Cookeville field office. Now, I remember when this happened and we were like, wow, what is going on? It's believed to be the first time in state history that a U.S. Senate office has been located right here in Cookeville. And typically that's been an opportunity that's reserved for the state's larger cities. So I know that feeling because we had a lot of conversations about it and the courthouse was buzzing about it when it happened. Can you tell us about the decision process behind opening that office, and what do you think has been the impact on the local community?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happened was during the campaign, I kind of got this role in Cookeville, and that was back in 2020, right as COVID started. We were kicking off the campaign, which is a whole different conversation within itself. But Senator Hagerty felt that it was important that we have someone in this district, which is often not the case. We've seen with other Senate offices throughout the past few years that they often have a Knoxville office, a Nashville office, and a Chattanooga office, and they split the Upper Cumberland pie three ways. But as we kind of got boots on the ground during the campaign, it became evident that this Upper Cumberland region is a growing region. It's becoming the lifeline between Knoxville and Nashville on I-40. And so when it came time to kind of divide up our official office, because you have the campaign side and the federal side, and those are very different things. But when conversations started happening about what the official office was going to look like, I think it was very important to him and to us that this region has a voice in what's happening in Tennessee. So right now we have 7 offices across the state, and the Upper Cumberland office is one of them. And so I cover the 14-county district, east to Fentress County, north to Kentucky, west to Smith County, and south to Warren County. And so our office is located here in Cookeville at the L. Claude Morton Federal Courthouse, which a lot of people don't know is here, but it's a beautiful building. And so we're on the 3rd floor there, and if you ever get the opportunity to come see us, we would love for you to stop by.
Well, your region is a large footprint of work. That is an expansive plot.
Yeah, well, and I mean that's a great location that you've got there, right? Kind of at the gateway to the west side district of Cookeville, and I mean that is a big difference maker for people, because a lot of casework, constituent work is I think is handled in person, and so you're saving people an hour and a half drive that they would have had to make previously to Nashville or Knoxville or Chattanooga. And what is great about that is that it's I hope it's setting a precedent, and that 50 years from now, regardless of who holds that seat, I hope we'll continue to have an office right here in Cookeville. But Tanner, you were talking about your 14 county district. One thing that I enjoyed during my years working in a congressional office was that I got to meet some really unique and interesting people from Tennessee and across the country, and I'm sure you have too. The stories I always tell were Fran Drescher from The Nanny came to D.C. to lobby for a bill, and I got to meet her and get my picture taken with her. And then I had to staff my boss for an event at the home of John Rich from Big and Rich, and I just remember that the toilets were shaped like guitars. That's my one memory from that event.
Wonder if Tanner has a memory like that. Any guitar-shaped toilets
Not
in your...
a toilet memory, no.
But do you have any interesting run-ins that you can tell us about, or a particular event or constituent meeting that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, so I'd say the coolest person that I've gotten to meet through this job is then Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. That was a really good opportunity that I didn't really see coming, and it happened. It was really cool. So that was one. But really what sticks out is not one in particular, but it's the type of people that you meet on an everyday basis. And when you look at this region, all parts of it are different. Like Warren County is much different than I would call the hills in Clay County. And so through the past 4 or 5 years of this job, the different type of people that you get to meet is fascinating, and the different types of situations that you get thrown into. Because when you look at what a federal office does and this problem solver job that I described, you just never know what that can look like. I'll give an example. We had a local business here in Cookeville about 3 weeks ago that is a manufacturing company, about 40 employees, and they had a shipping container that was stuck in Department of Transportation control in Savannah, Georgia. And so he called us and, he said, hey, if we don't get this shipping crate here by next Wednesday, then our production is going to have to shut down. And that's 40 employees that are paid and suddenly won't be paid if that doesn't happen. And so we worked with our team, talked to Department of Transportation, and then a little over 24 hours later, I get a call that, the container's been released, it's on its way here, we're good to go. And so you never really know, from top to bottom, what kind of people, what kind of situations you're going to get thrown into. I know that the district, like I said, is very different. When you look at, I always like to kind of plot my map every week of where I'm going to go, where I'm going to be. And the most important thing, though, is what restaurants you're going to eat at. Because
very important.
Very.
Because each county has like these little hidden hubs. And I have like a running Excel sheet of all the restaurants. And so
he's a food critic on the side,
yeah,
folks.
if I'm plotting it out, it's like what restaurant can I go eat at? Because Jackson County is probably the hidden gem of the Upper Cumberland, I would say. And I'm from Fentress County, so don't let any of them hear that I said that. But, the relationship that I had with like Mayor Hagerty, who sadly passed away earlier this year, those relationships that you build are crucial to the job and has been a great part of it.
Well, and you really are a problem solver. I love to hear the story. I mean, can you imagine being the business owner where your employees are counting on you? You can't solve the problem yourself. You go to your vein of work for help, and you're like, hey, this is kind of a last-ditch effort that I really need some help here. And you really don't know at that point as the business owner if it's going to come to fruition, and then it does. You've saved the salaries of your 40 employees. You've saved your bottom line. You've saved your reputation, and that's all because of what you were able to do. I love that. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and you look at, and that's a big situation that may happen once or twice every year. But then you get people who, oh no, I got a trip in 2 weeks and I don't have a passport, or I forgot to renew it is probably the most common thing I hear. And what are we going to do about it? So then they call us, and then it's a big deal to them. And so when you look at those big picture things like the company, that's a big occurrence, but it's also important to people just in their everyday lives who have a problem that may not look as large, but to them it's very important. And so we always try our best to help solve those situations.
Well, I think it's wonderful. And if it is your problem being solved, you're eternally grateful. Now, Tanner, as if you weren't busy enough at work, you also serve the community outside of your duties in Senator Hagerty's office through a very creative organization called the Upper Cumberland Community League, which is all about using fantasy football, you heard me right, as a means to raise funds and awareness for local nonprofits. In fact, earlier this year, your organization was able to make a donation of $2,500 to Plenty Downtown Bookshop in Cookeville's West Side, where I know Lisa Urich was over the moon about it. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give a shout out to the original kind of brain behind this, Sean Scantlin. He works for the...
Sean's a great guy.
Sean's a great guy.
I can see this would be something that he would come up with.
Absolutely. So I was able to join on the second year of the league and have kind of stepped in to help run the operation there. But yeah, like you said, so we're up to 30 members this year. It is a charity-driven fantasy football league where we invite 30 members of the community to come, and we have a draft party, and we draft our teams, and everybody puts some money in, and the winner gets to choose which charity the funds are going to go to. And so this year we will have passed the $10,000 mark for total money given to charities in the community. I guess my favorite story from that is 3 or 4 years ago, the winner picked the Putnam County Animal Shelter. And so we went there for our check presentation to them, and one of our members actually ended up bringing a puppy home.
Yes, I was like, if I showed up to that check presentation, to be all over.
So they not only got funds, but also got a dog adopted.
They adopted a dog. How
But yeah,
sweet.
it's been a great, fun opportunity for us and our members to give back in any way that we can, and it keeps growing. So we'll see where it takes off to.
Tanner, you're helping people at home and at work all day long.
I don't even consider the fantasy league like a,
Listen,
it's fun.
best charity
It's
of
fun.
all time.
Yeah, well, and it's, I mean, you're picking very worthwhile causes because, I mean, the Putnam County Animal Shelter, Plenty, which people may not know, is a nonprofit bookstore. I mean, these are organizations doing really good work in the community, and that money goes a long way.
Absolutely.
And is really helpful to them. Tanner, we are winding down this interview, but I want to go back to our earlier conversation about your own career success. And Shannon asked you a little bit about your advice for students, looking to kind of get out of their comfort zone. And you talked about showing up and being willing to put yourself out there. But I mean, specifically for those students who might be interested in a career similar to yours, can you just dig a little deeper on how you forge those connections and how you sort of align things, put things in place to be able to create an opportunity where you could work for a campaign or in your case, a Senate office?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the most important thing when you're looking at this kind of line of work is, I know we've kind of hammered on it already, but the connections. Because at the end of the day, while getting a college education is very important, and in this world, you put it on your resume and nobody asks any more questions about it. It just kind of is what it is. So making sure that you stand out, that you're professional, that you show up on time, and just making those personal connections with people is vital, because I've seen people who are in college and they want to do this, but they haven't taken advantage of the opportunities, whether that be the internship program, whether that be attending your local county party meetings, whether that be, campaign events. You have to go to those things, and you have to be willing to work hard, because when you know how it is in a campaign office, it's crazy, and you got to work your butt off. And so
everyone is looking for opportunity.
Absolutely. It's a sharp pull down there. So you really just have to, I wouldn't say go above and beyond to make yourself stand out, but you just got to work hard.
Yeah, and I think you make such a good point about, I mean, obviously you have to work hard in your studies and, do well on the tests, but then, use Tennessee Tech or wherever you go to school, use that as a connector, as a facilitator. And I mean, you talked about, it was Lauren Harding for you, it was Lori Maxwell for me, who helped kind of make those connections to other people. And so and it's I'm an introvert. You talked about growing up being an introvert, Shan, which I still find that very hard to believe.
Wildly shy to this day.
But it's like you have to you have to get out of your comfort zone and be willing to meet people.
Well, and I'm going to tell you something about Tanner, because we have overlapped in social circles, but have not been formally introduced before past a few moments prior to this interview. And Tanner, the first thing you did, eye contact, strong handshake. And I was like, okay, this is a great guy. Your first impression was, I can take this guy seriously. And so for students and even adults out there, I will say that first impression of just practicing those social skills, if you're not good at it, guess what? You can practice. And Tanner has mastered that. You can tell he's in the world of politics because he's got the handshake down, the eye contact, he's respectful. And it comes across. That first impression will tell you everything about a person, and then you either let them into your world or you write them off. And Tanner, we like to end every interview. This has been a great interview and really chock full of information. But I've got one more question for you. And we end our interview with this question every single time. What is one way that Tennessee Tech has impacted your life?
That's a loaded question, man. I mean, I was there for 4 years, but I would say that the best way that tech impacted my life was just giving me the platform to succeed. And so I think, a problem at college can be that you want to go there and you want it to take care of you. But the fact is that a university, especially like tech, is there to give you opportunities. Because my road was a little different. I actually started at Tennessee Tech pre-medicine, got in Chem 1 and realized that was absolutely not for me.
Wow.
And so then I kind of had to pivot there. And I thought, well, it was 2016. That was the Trump election. I was like, I'll try poli-sci, try political science. But, I've hit on it. But just Tennessee Tech served as a great place for me to be successful and to take advantage of the opportunities that were offered by the political science department, by the history department, by other teachers, professors at Tennessee Tech, and really just served as a jumping off platform for where I'm able to be today.
Well, Tanner, it is a pleasure to meet you. It is a pleasure to know you. Thank you for spending your time with us today and for letting us interview you on College Town Talk.
Thank you guys so much.
And for our listeners, if you're enjoying our show and hearing from incredible Tennessee Tech alumni like Tanner Cox, would you do us a favor and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get this podcast? It all helps to spread the word about the great things happening right here in Cookeville.
And guys, we'll meet you back here again next week for more conversations with the people who make Cookeville Tennessee's college town.
College Town Talk is presented by Tennessee Tech University in partnership with the Cookeville-Putnam County Visitors Bureau. Your hosts are Jonathan Frank and Shan Stout, and original music is performed by Andrew Buckner. Visit us online at tntech.edu/collegetowntalk.